Okay, so let's talk about France. Right now, you've got a government that's barely hanging on, a country staring down a mountain of debt, and a single upcoming vote that could literally send shockwaves across all of Europe. Today, we're breaking down this whole high-stakes crisis, and really, it all boils down to one critical question.
And this is it. This is the question that's on everyone's mind in Paris, in Brussels, and yeah, even on Wall Street. Can the French government actually make it through the week? The answer, either way, is going to have huge consequences for a lot of people.
All right, so first, let's dive into the immediate political firestorm, because that's what's putting this government on the absolute brink of collapse.
The man right in the middle of all this is Prime Minister François Bayrou. And on September 8th, he's facing what's called a confidence vote. And believe me, this is no routine procedure. This is a full-on, make-or-break moment for his political survival. So what even is a confidence vote? Well, you can think of it like this. The government basically has to turn to Parliament and ask, hey, do you still have our backs? Do you still have faith in us? If the answer comes back no, then that's it. The government falls. It's a massive political gamble that just shows you how fragile this whole situation is. But what got them here? Why this high-stakes showdown now? It all comes down to the massive battle over a single budget. We're talking about a 44 billion euro plan filled with some pretty painful spending cuts. And this plan has done one thing very effectively. It's united a very divided opposition against the government. And for Bayrou, getting anything passed is, well, it's pretty much an impossible task. Just look at the makeup of the assembly. His centrist bloc is just this tiny slice of the pie. He's completely squeezed between a powerful left-wing opposition and the far-right's huge bloc. There's just no clear path for him to get a majority. And the opposition, they are not budging. Marine Le Pen, the leader of the Rassemblement National, she put it about as bluntly as you can. She said, "This government is finito." It's a crystal clear signal that they see zero room for compromise. They're ready for this government to fall. Now, this political mess isn't just happening in a vacuum. Not at all. It's sending some serious jitters through the financial world, spooking markets, mainly because of France's enormous debt problem. If you want to understand why the markets are getting so nervous, you really only need to see this number: 3.3 trillion euros. That's the absolutely staggering size of France's public debt. Now, a number that big is hard to wrap your head around, so to put it in perspective, France's debt is now almost 114% of its entire gross domestic product. In simpler terms, the country owes more money than the value of everything it produces in an entire year. And what's making it worse is the budget deficit, which is sitting at 5.8%. So the key takeaway here is that the government is spending way more money than it's bringing in, which means they're just digging that debt hole deeper and deeper every single day. And that is why Bayrou's austerity plan, as unpopular as it is seen by some as absolutely necessary. And because of all this, you've got the credit rating agencies watching like hawks. The agency Fitch, for example, is set to review France's rating on September 12th. France is already on a negative outlook, which is basically a warning that a downgrade is a very real possibility. And if that happens, it could actually trigger a forced sell-off of French bonds by major investment funds, potentially causing a financial tailspin. But this isn't just about politicians and bankers and numbers on a screen. This crisis has a very real, very human cost. It's creating these deep social divides, all while the rest of Europe is watching very, very nervously. At the heart of all this social unrest is a profound generational divide. On one side, you have the baby boomers, who, for the most part, benefited from France's very generous pension and social systems. And on the other side, you've got millennials and Gen Z, who feel like they're the ones being asked to pay the bill for a system that they might never get to fully benefit from. And that anger has found a massive voice online. On the platform X, this hashtag Nicolas qui paye, which translates to Nicolas who pays, has just exploded. It's become this huge rallying cry for young people who are demanding fairness. And it's pushed this debate way beyond the halls of Parliament and into the streets and all over social media. So why does any of this matter outside of France? It comes down to one really important economic term: contagion. See, a major crisis in a cornerstone European economy like France, it doesn't just stay in France. It can spread, almost like a virus, infecting the financial systems of its neighbors and threatening the stability of the entire Eurozone.
So with all these different pressures, political, economic, social, all mounting at the same time, you have to wonder, where does France possibly go from here? The truth is, it's facing an impossible choice, with really no good options on the table.
President Emmanuel Macron is basically cornered. He's got 3 paths, and all of them are pretty terrible. Option 1, he could try some last-minute compromise, but that seems super unlikely. Option 2, he could just nominate a new government, which would be the 3rd one in just a single year. Or option 3, call for brand new elections, which would plunge the country right back into political chaos. And all of this is coming to a head in the next few days. It's happening now. On September 8th, we have the confidence vote that'll decide the government's immediate fate. Then, just 4 days later, that Fitch rating review could decide the country's entire financial standing. This is, without a doubt, a week of reckoning. Which leaves all of us with this one final massive question. As France is teetering on the edge of political and economic chaos, will the rest of Europe get pulled down right along with it? That's the answer the entire world is waiting for.